I think I have come to realize that I don't like general fiction. Welcome back to day 19 of Book Bingo 2026, where I attempt to read as much of my physical TBR as possible without buying any books this year. And today, I have finally finished The Vaster Wilds by Groff, and I am here to talk about it. This is going to be a long form video because I have a lot to say, and it's not good. So, first and foremost, authors aren't being tagged. This is not directed towards the authors. This is my personal opinion. And I don't want the authors to see this. I'm just ranting to rant. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, for this particular rant, as I was finishing this book, I have determined that I don't like general fiction. Which is entirely on me. That is not the fault of authors. That is not the fault of people that like these books. It's me. It's entirely me. So, I'm going to go over exactly what was wrong with this book for me, in my taste, and bring in a guest appearance of a book that I know is widely popular on Book Talk and Bookstagram, and discuss why I didn't like that one either. So, I chose this book for the current square of Book Bingo, which is to read authors that are new to you, because one, this was gifted to me, two, it was a rather short book, it was only 253 pages, and three, I thought this would be a good book to read for the reading stream I did over on Twitch. I was wrong. I was entirely wrong. So I liked the thought process behind the story. I think that's the only thing that's keeping this at the rating I'm going to give it by the end of this video. But I did not like the writing. There was a lot of jumping around the timeline that got confusing because none of the dialogue was specified with quotation marks. So it was hard to tell sometimes when people were speaking and not speaking. There were several points in the main plot where a character was brought in, a new character was brought in. I'm like, oh, that's exciting, right? And it happened on 3 different occurrences. A new character was brought into the main storyline. The second character, I was really hopeful for it being a continuing character. No, disappeared after the one occurrence. Gave that character a whole backstory. Gave that character an entire story about how they existed in the same realm as our main female character. And then just left it. Just disappeared. Gone. Forever. Hated that. Also hated that we almost got to a conclusion about the female main character's name because that was just a mystery for a bit. It wasn't until close to the 50% mark that a name was given. And then the female main character explained the story behind her name and all the other names she was told. And in that chapter, she almost came to the conclusion of what she wanted her name to be. But then she was like, oh, I can't think of anything. Move on. That would have been such a good plot point in this book. For those of you that don't know what this book is, I will go ahead and read the excerpt because it's an interesting excerpt. It got my attention. I was at least interested in the story. A servant girl escapes from a colonial settlement into the night. She carries nothing with her but her wits, a few possessions, and the spark of God that burns hot within her. What she finds in this terra incognita is beyond the limits of her imagination and will bend her belief in everything that her own civilization has taught her. If this book was written like that paragraph, automatically would have been so much better. Instead, there are several instances of run-off sentences. There are several instances of random page breaks throughout the chapters. Chapters that are 20 pages long, followed by a page-long chapter. This book, I want to throw it. It's bad. It's bad for me. I was doing research on the author because the only thing in my mind that would have made me think, okay, this structure of this book, like the writing style, makes more sense, is if the author did not speak English primary language. No, she does. She's from the US, so like I'm just like I don't know. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think I'm done ranting about this book. This is gonna get a 2-star for me. It's the lowest star rating I've ever given for a book so far. It kept my attention every so often, but there was a lot of times where I was reading and then I would lose track of what I was reading and have to reread the paragraph like 5 times over. That's not okay. I'm not okay with that. But yeah, I'm going to pivot just a little bit here because I firmly believe, after reading 2 general fiction books in a row for Book Bingo 2026, that I may not like general fiction. And let's go bring book number 2 into the equation, shall we? I'm lazy. I'm not changing what book the microphone's on. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Everyone has every right to say bad things about me for not liking this book. I gave this a 3.5 star. My main issue with this, which I have with any book, not just general fiction, any book, is when a plot twist is predicted too soon, then announced, and then nothing's done with it for like most of the book. So the plot twist for me, I was able to pick out within the first 100 pages. Within the first 100 pages, I was able to pick out the plot twist. The plot twist was confirmed around the 50% mark, but then nothing was done with the plot twist. Like nothing, the plot twist was not fully unveiled until like the last 10% of the book. And that was like the main big thing for this book. And I'm like, I hate that. I hate when that happens. I don't like that. Oh no, good story. I like the story. I love the octopus. I enjoyed this one. I will probably watch the Netflix series when it comes out eventually. But it's not staying on my shelf. That's the key thing. Like these books that are getting ready though are not staying on my shelf. And that's the big thing about Book Bingo 2026. The whole point of me doing Book Bingo 2026 is to try to not only read the books on my shelf, but to also attempt to try to get rid of books on my shelf. In the last 2 months, I have pulled 11 books off of my shelf to be removed, like to be given away, donated, sold, whatever the case is. And by sell, I mean go to Second Charles and get credit for. That's the goal. If I like a book enough, it's staying on my shelf. If I know I'm going to reread it, it's staying on my shelf. Because that's the thing. The first book I've done for this challenge, which was A King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, I thought that was a great book. I rated it 4.25 stars. I thought it was a very, very good story. It just wasn't the ending for me, and it also wasn't the genre for me. But again, that's my personal preference. That's not anything against the author. It's not anything against the genre. It's just my personal preference. So, even though that rated fairly high for me, I'm still not keeping that on my shelf. There's another book I read at the end of last year that I rated 4.5 that is not staying on my shelf because I don't think I can reread it. I just don't see myself rereading these books. So, that's the whole spiel. This is a little bit shorter than I thought it would be. It's probably going to get edited down because the dog is chewing obnoxiously in the background still. But we are at the end of this video announcing a new rule. And it's going to go into the short around day 19 as well. So, if I have chosen a book for a challenge, for Book Bingo, and I get through the first 100 pages and realize I don't like this book, not only will the book still count, because I realize that it's not staying on my shelf, it's going to be gone, right? The book will still count towards the challenge, and I will just rate it as a DNF and move forward. This book cost me so much time. This took over 10 days? Close to 10 days? This is 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over 10 days for me to finish. And I really cannot slow down my reading pace to that length to get as much of this Book Bingo done as possible. I really was wanting to finish a square of Book Bingo this month. And it is January 19th. And I've only finished 3 of the 8 books for the square. So, I'm hoping to crank out a couple more books, probably like 2 or 3 for Book Bingo before the end of the month. And then, hopefully by first week of February, we can knock out square 1. That is now the adjusted goal. But that is a new rule moving forward. It'll be announced on the shorts when I record for day 19. And we'll go from there. So, let me know if you have different opinions about this book. I know this has been recommended by various people, including this ended up on Obama's recommended reading for 2023. And I appreciate that people enjoyed the genre of books. I just did not like this one. This one was not good for me. So yeah, let me know in the comments. If you like what you see here for long form content of me just ranting to rant, make sure you subscribe and like the video. And let me know in the comments as well. Take care. Until next time. Toodaloo.